Let us not forget that COVID-19 is a gendered crisis.
And here we go again. Once again, my friends, feminists have decided even though 70% of deaths from coronavirus are men, women are most affected. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today on Twitter.com, here we are with Marine Faraki, who says that coronavirus is a gendered issue and that women are most affected. You know, there's an old joke that goes around in red-pilled circles. It's that whenever something happens, somehow women are always the victim, even if men are primarily the ones suffering. Here on the New York Post, women are struggling to find men who make as much money as they do. A good man is hard to find, especially in this economy. So I want you to pay very close attention to this headline. Essentially, women cannot find men who make as much money as they do, therefore women suffer the most, but in reality, what this title actually means is, translation, men are suffering economically. Women most affected. It really boggles my mind.
Nurses, nurse aides, teachers, child carers, and early childhood educators, aged care workers, and cleaners are mostly women.
There's also men who work those jobs, just FYI. I had plenty of male teachers. I've seen plenty of male nurses. That's kind of, that's kind of presumptuous of you to say, don't you think? Not to mention, what about all the men who work essential services? You don't see many garbage men who are women. You don't see many construction workers who are women. You don't see many repairmen, plumbers, or electricians who are women. They're at risk too, and their services are essential. But no, only the women suffer.
They are on the front line of this public health crisis and carry a disproportionate risk of being exposed to the virus.
So what about doctors exactly? Because I feel like you're missing something. According to Google and the Washington Post, 80% of doctors older than 25 are men, while only 60% of doctors younger than 35 were women. So overall, there's more male doctors. They're at risk too, but they're men, so it doesn't really matter, man.
Let's also not forget that not all homes are safe places. Quarantine or self-isolation at home will put women and children at risk.
Oh yes, quarantine will put women and children at risk from domestic violence. You know who else suffers from domestic violence? Men. Here on The Guardian, more than 40% of domestic violence victims are male, report reveals. Campaign group Parity claims assaults by wives and girlfriends are often ignored by police and the media. Thank you, and good night. Men are also victims, okay? It's not just women from domestic violence. And first of all, domestic violence has nothing to do with coronavirus. This just goes to show you what a problem feminism has become. Feminism isn't about equality. It's about privilege. It's about handouts. It's about being treated as more equal than others. And most of the time, it's at men's expense. As a man, it very much disturbs me.
俺は真の男女平等を願う者。都合のいい時だけ女の権利を主張し、都合の悪い時は男のくせにとか言っちゃう輩は許さない人間だ。
Women's advocates and domestic violence experts are warning us that domestic abuse increases during times of crisis. And I'm terribly worried that these warnings have not been heeded by this government that has long resisted adequate funding for the needed resources and refugees.
And there we go. They want more handouts, more social welfare from daddy government. It seems like a lot of these feminists out there want the government to be the father they never had, to give them all the money and all the welfare. Well, did you know that in a lot of places, women are actually a net drain on the economy? Especially places with social welfare. Here you can see the net fiscal impact per capita by gender and age group. This is data from 2010. The blue line are males, and the red line is females. Now you can see that the fiscal impact is in the positives and the negatives. And for the majority of a woman's lifetime, they are a net drain on the system. And for a majority of a man's productive lifetime, he's a positive impact on the system. In other words, men are literally holding up society in many places. It reminds me very much of Atlas, holding up the world. That is basically what men are doing. Now, I'm not saying it's like this everywhere, but as you can see from this chart, for the majority of a woman's lifespan, they are a net drain. a net negative impact per capita on the nation. Now, this may not be from America, but with what these feminists want, this is the road feminism leads to. It's the road that voting leads to. Because guess what? Women vote, I want to say badly, but they vote for bigger government, they vote for more handouts, and I have the proof. Here you see. This is from the Los Angeles Times in the USC poll. Preference among women. If the congressional election were held today, what would you vote for, Democrat or Republican? So women overall, a vast majority said Democrat. 62% would vote for a Democrat. Only 37% would vote for a Republican. Among rural women, this was the only one where most, 56%, would vote for Republicans, but with suburban women and urban women, 60%, 60% again, they would vote Democrat. So women in general tend to vote majority Democrat. Now, what do Democrats advocate for? Higher taxes, more welfare, more privileges, more inequality, and generally destroy everything. I mean, everywhere run by Democrats is in massive debt, has so much high crime, they're unsanitary, they tend to be the worst places to live, the most expensive places to live, and the most tax cumbersome. But you want to tell me that women need even more handouts? I don't think so. If anything, we need to reduce it and make things truly equal. I yearn for true gender equality. Now, Marine is being torn apart online for what she said. Pink Hedonist says, not even a lethal pandemic can eradicate hardcore narcissism. Mac Daddy's Playhouse says, funny how war is an engendered crisis. Oh, yes, indeed. Isn't it hilarious how there are so many issues that are men's issues, but they're completely ignored by society? Prostate cancer? Haha, nobody gives a shit. Men are the vast majority of victims of taking their own lives? Haha, nobody cares. Men are the most work-related deaths because they work the most dangerous jobs, putting their lives on the risk for their families? Who cares? Women are most affected. It reminds me of those videos. It reminds me of those viral videos where women are asked, would you like to join the draft? And they back up and they say, no. I don't want to join the draft. But at the same time, talk about feminism and equality. So there's this meme someone posted, and I think it's a perfect representation of this video of these feminists. Here you see two women in nice clothes with their purses walking around town without a care in the world. And they say, stop oppressing me. And you see this man down here, he's in the dirt, he's moving in the mud, his hands are dirty. He's doing an essential service to hold up society. And these women are figuratively and literally looking down on him and telling him to stop being oppressive. This is privilege versus hard work. Now, I don't want to say that there's not women out there who work hard. There are plenty who are. Women have very hard and important roles in society. The problem is, everything is topsy-turvy now. Women are trying to be men. Men no longer have women who are competent, who can actually help them. It's a mess. The family unit is shattered. Both men and women are suffering. And honestly, I blame feminism in some part. I really do. But you know what, folks? That's pretty much the story. I think it goes without saying that COVID-19 is a gendered crisis. Most victims are men. But that's merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? What do you think? Is COVID-19 mostly affecting women, even though more men are dying from it? Am I wrong? Be sure to let me know. As always, if you would like to support this content, you can join me on Patreon or Subscribestar for as low as $1. Those who do join will get access to a private Discord server that's members only. If you think it's worth sharing, please do share the video. It helps a lot. And if you want to donate, you can do so through DonorBox or crypto. All links are down below in the description. As always, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.